Ready?
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Fish Keeping Jamaica. Welcome to my channel. Today I speak about an interesting topic in which I know you will be really amazed about. Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Fish Keeping Jamaica. Welcome to my channel. Well, I was trying to find out the best way to do this video. I did not want it to be long, so I instead decided to actually speak instead of narrate. Okay, so today's video is about the whole idea of multiple tanks or ponds filtration system. So you might see the topic multiple tanks filtration. Okay, so I had a system set up where which my ponds were actually being filtered through one what I call it, barrel canister like filtration system. I had a 0.5 pump placed there, and the pump was secure with a padlock and all that, and the pipe was actually piped. It was actually piped, and a table was here. And if you look back into my old videos, you will actually see the system in play. Today I'm just looking at the best way to actually plumb your system. I'm looking at the whole idea as to whether or not there's an advantage and a disadvantage of multiple tank filtration system. Alright, first things first, all tanks are actually plumbed together in one. It's plumbed together as one, right? All, I call them tank, pond, same thing I'm being referring to. Alright, so each pond has a locker valve, or should I say a valve, which actually gauge the amount of water that flows out of the pond system. Right now, as the pump would actually take water from the lower section of the pond, it would actually redistribute the water at the top, and at the top I would have another valve which actually regulate the amount of water that flows in. So you have a valve which regulate the amount of water which flows out, and a valve which regulate the amount of water that flows in. Alright, cool. Now there are several issues with centralized filtration system. I just have a few minutes, so for any other question with regards to the setup of it was, you can just hit me up in the comment section below. Alright, let's look at about 3 problems. One, now because the system is actually plumbed in one, and as you can see, some of the barrel ponds are actually taller than some. What I found is that when the pump was actually taking the water from the containers, the pump would actually take too much water from some containers and too little from the other. So as a result of that, what I had to do, I had to gauge this, and it took a good amount of time. I think a couple days before I could get it right, so I could get the distribution of water flowing down the line, or should I say flowing down the line proper, so the water would actually come to the pump, and the pump would actually distribute it, and all ponds will actually be regulated by the valves at the top. Alright, so one problem with centralized system is that it takes a long time for you to actually get it right, and some of these instances where in which it was actually wrong, I actually had a lot of overflowing on the floor. And well, this is outside, but you can imagine you're in your fish room, right? A lot of overflowing on the floor, and I lost a couple very small, or should I say, yeah, a couple fries for my guppy stocking which I had, right? Because the system would it would be taking up a lot from some ponds, and it would be spitting out a lot into some ponds. So some ponds actually had no water if I left it there for a day, while some pond had overflowing of water. So eventually, if let's say I stayed away for a very long time, I would end up losing water. The pump will burn up, and everything will actually crash. So it takes a while to set up. Alright, number 2 problem is that not every fish actually produce the same amount of waste, right? So fish that actually lay egg will actually produce more waste than fish that actually give live birth. However, all the waste usually come through the pump, go through the filter, and redistributed through a single pipe to the different ponds, right? So you can understand that all the filtered water from all the ponds were mixed together and it was redistributed, thus give the rise of the question as to whether or not some means of infection, like for example harmful bacteria, might be transferred from one pond to the next. That was a question that was bugging me at the time, right? Because now I have to be wondering if the stock, because my quarantine pond was practically on this same thing, right? So it really made no sense to say that it's a quarantine, because everything that the fish had at the store was still with it in the pond system. The only thing is that it was not mixing with other fish, but the water was actually going in round in circles. So this was like a little problem for me, right? So look at, that's number 2 problem, right? The number 3 problem with a centralized filtration system is that at times you find that the centralized system actually stop working, whether it be power outage or malfunctioning equipment. And what you find is that because not all my ponds had plants, because I know I had this, I had this system set up where it was actually giving aeration to all my ponds, right? So whenever light goes out or power outage or malfunction, you'll have a pond or two not having any aeration medium through which the fish can actually generate oxygen, get oxygen, right? So that was a problem, right? But the primary reason why I took it down, and I'm kind of giving you a barter in Jamaica extra, the primary reason why I took it down, why I took down the table, why I took out the pump, I sold the pump, I forgot about the whole idea of centralized filtration system, is that it cost a lot, right? And this was a pump, like the pump that you would normally use to, let's say, fill up a container of water on your house top, or it would be used to it's an external pump. An external pump burns more electricity than internal pump, right? Submersible pump. And I did a video on this. It cost me, and it burned a lot of LNG. So as a result of that, my light bill jumped. Let's say my light bill was like $14. After 1 month putting in this system, the pump and everything flowing alright, and everybody nice, I got a light bill like for about $28, so it actually doubled, and immediately I had to put the pole, and it was just like this. So I got more plants, and this is the system, right? So you have to look at that before you think about and there are more points, but as you can see, it is like a good amount of minutes. I hope that this video was informative. Bye for now. You have an awesome day.